So I'll have a tat. Bit chilly.
And if you want to know what that was all about, follow at NPK_hydroponics and watch our granddad, our age-concerned member
He's a
of
sausage,
staff.
isn't he?
He's our sausage.
But he's our sausage.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to know what that was all about, follow us and watch the video. Leave a comment. Tell him how much of a sausage he is. That's a daily occurrence, that.
Yeah.
That is nothing new there. It's just that time we managed to get it onto camera. Barry, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, actually. I'm very well. We've turning all our volumes down, putting the phones down, and we begin the podcast. Episode 218, an inside look, new little series of podcasts. So to give you more of an idea of what goes on with the partners and the areas and the products that they produce, we're doing an inside look on all the partners. This week, it is Budbox. We're going to get inside the tent and have an inside look.
Yeah.
Reflective material, the zips, the quality of the tent, the poles, everything, all the fancy features, but not just Budbox. We're going to concentrate on Budbox, but we're going to talk about tents in general. So this is a tent. This could be a bit of a tense episode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Could be a big tense episode.
You like to play on words?
I do.
Yeah. Let your face know.
Yeah. Smiling.
Yeah.
Miserable ass.
Are you looking in the mirror?
Don't look at me when you're telling me, like, because I think you're telling me and I already know.
I know, we've been through this before.
You should look forward. Don't look at me now.
Shall I look at your feet? Or is that even weirder?
It's weirder.
Yeah. I'll just look at you in the eyes. Not around the eyes, look into the eyes. Budbox tent, episode 218. As always, grab your cup of tea or your coffee or your water. Or if you listen late at night.
I would, but there's no one here to make me one.
Ooh, low blow. It's because of COVID. Everyone's working from home. Hey, fortunately, media people can work from home, so we're quite lucky. We haven't really talked much about this war. Again, we're not filming, are we? We're not filming yet because... Why aren't we filming?
In case anyone moans to see how close we are.
Ooh, touch me leg, Barry.
No.
You did before.
That's not what I do.
It
was
is
an accident.
I can't wait for you to all go live. One, because at the moment it's just me and Barry on podcast, and we love it when we go live on YouTube and everyone's involved and you ask your questions and you get properly involved in the podcast.
Yeah.
And we want to show you around our new studio.
Yeah.
Can you hear that rain?
Fuck me. It is hammering down. Though.
We've insulated
this new
this frigging building
is
as
well
well.
insulated. And you know what, though? It's because it's a big, massive roof on this building.
I know.
And it is, like, bad stuff. Yeah, look, see, it stopped.
There we go. That was a bit
She's
crazy,
passed.
wasn't it?
She's passed.
Yeah. Hurricane Katrina. She's gone. But yeah, we are in a new studio. It's better. It's more enclosed, less noise. We've got better internet. We've got much better everything. So when we do get the video up and running on YouTube, we're now going to have 3 cameras. We're going to be streaming to multiple platforms. We're going to be doing all kinds, but we just don't want to. I'm fed up of streaming videos that glitch and fall out, and do you know what I mean? I just want to do it properly. And because we are always trying to do the best, then we do have problems. So there you go. We will be back live soon, and you'll see our new studio, and it'll look exactly the same as the old studio, apart from Barry's actually built a brick wall behind us out of old reclaimed bricks, and it looks amazing. Well done, Barry. Took you a good couple of months to do that, didn't it?
Yeah.
We'll put a picture up on the podcast Instagram at NPK Live so you can have a look at the brick that Barry's built. Okay, let's get into it. Let's go to our intro and we're going to talk about Budbox.
All good? Ready to go? Turn my voice up a little bit. Oh, God, for everyone watching, the whole family.
Are you ready to go? Barry built a beast in the house that I built, in the booth that I built.
I know people tune in every Sunday to listen, but even when business is good, we still manage to do the podcast.
So, Basil, it's Budbox today, mate.
Yeah, man.
It's a tense episode. It's a Budbox tense episode. It's an inside look into Budbox. But first, you know what to do. You little vape virgin.
Yeah,
Come
we're
on,
going to do the partners.
obviously.
Okay, then. Shall I go first?
You go first.
I'm going to start at the back.
Go on then.
I mean, the back of the list.
Go on,
like
then.
it's written down.
Go on.
In fact, I might start in the middle.
Just order you up and get to the point. Barry likes to be in and out. He likes to do the podcast, bish, bash, bosh, boom, back for lunch.
When I'm here, though, I just get settled.
I
and
know
think,
you do.
it's
And then you
cozy in here.
It
isn't
is. It is.
I'm going to start then with the leaders of the tent manufacturers.
Who are they?
Budbox.
Ooh, and we've got that information from.
Everyone knows that. What are you on about?
I'm
Everyone
on about-
knows
I'm on
Budbox are
about-
the leading tent manufacturers in the tent
Everyone
manufacturing
knows.
industry.
The leading tent in the tent manufacturing industry,
Yeah.
as commonly said by Barry. But did you also know they've just won in the Garden Culture Magazine Award Hydro Survey of 100 shops up and down the UK country? Survey Award Hydro experts.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. It's not like, oh, wow, it's like
No,
That's
it's
like
not really
common
surprising,
knowledge.
is it? Yeah.
before
But
Garden
they
Culture come out, I knew that anyway.
Yeah, they won 2 years ago. They've won again, and they've won by a bit of a landslide. So I'm very, very proud
They'll win again
with Budbox.
and again.
And it's not just
As long
us
as they
saying
keep it up and
Yeah.
again.
So Budbox, they are one of the partners. They are who the episode is about.
Yeah.
And I'll go next. CANNA Nutrients.
Yeah.
An inside look. We'll be getting to CANNA on the Inside Look series of podcasts. We'll be looking at the nutrition, what the products do, who they're for, pricing, quabbles with pricing, the industry, and we'll be taking an inside look into CANNA. Who else?
Let's go for AutoPot.
AutoPot watering systems.
Gravity fed.
Gravity fed.
Brand new fucking
Brand new valve.
9 mil outside diameter, 5 mil inside diameter.
Barry coming with the big licks, technical
Listen,
info.
kid, proper grip.
You
I've
get
got
your
it in the
ruler out.
shop now, mate, and it's like, ooh, this
fancy
is nice
dancy.
pipe, this.
Well, there will be an AutoPot inside look.
And I like the pipe blue.
Yeah, the pipe is a bit sexy, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
nice.
AutoPot blue.
They've done good.
We'll be looking at AutoPot and we'll
Well
be looking at
done,
systems
AutoPot.
in general. So there you go. Next up is SANlight LED.
Yeah.
Austrian, Switzerland, European, worldwide. One of the best LEDs on the market. I haven't read through all of the Garden Culture magazine, because we are going to do the Hydro Awards.
Yeah.
Don't worry. The Hydro Awards will be coming soon. We'll be giving out our awards again.
Don't we know who plays first in LED now?
No, we don't. We can have a guess, but I haven't actually got the magazine in front of me yet. So, and we're gonna do it all on a podcast. Might even do it next week.
Yeah.
Because we might have a intermission for the awards, because it's a big thing for the industry, isn't it? We need to keep it fresh.
Good.
So, might do the awards next week. See how we get on. Next up is
Cam filters.
Erwin,
My man.
my man on the road trip. Erwin
In his Ovlov.
of love. Oh, yeah, he came to see us, didn't he? And he had to scarp it on quick.
Shame.
But steaks next time.
Yeah.
Steaks and beers. Can
He missed
filters,
the
though.
heaviest steak, though.
Oh, he did. It
Yeah.
was... Oh, let's not even get into it. I'll start getting hungry. Can filters, extraction. Everything you need for your extraction of your tent. Budbox tent.
Yeah.
Should have a can filter in there. Should have a can fan. Keep all the big players together. And Gavita lighting. HPS. Ceramic metal halide. They also do an LED, but it's an industrial LED. It's a big motherfucker. HPS, they've got the full range, 750, 1,000 watts double ended. They're coming out with some good new products as well for 2021, so keep your eyes peeled on Gavita.
And last but not least, we've got Garden Culture.
magazine. Out now. Go to your Hydro shop.
You need this month's one.
You do.
because it has got
The hydro survey.
the hydro survey.
And
That's
I've got a feeling.
what did you do? 100 shops up and down the country,
100 shops
and
up
they
and down
name
the
their
corner.
best products,
And
the
they
best
do.
sellers.
Exactly,
and
the favourite.
So if you're in doubt on what to buy, if you buy this, there might be something that catches your eye where it's proven and it's
100 shops opinions.
it's 100 shops opinion. So
So there you go. They are the partners. Thank you very much. But today's
Yes.
partner, the special partner, is Budbox.
yeah, man.
Where do we start with Budbox? Just voted by 100 shops as the best tent. So there you go.
Why?
We don't need to say anymore. For a lot of features and reasons that we're going to talk about.
Why?
Well, Jonathan and his Budbox team only do tents. It is their one and only purpose and their job.
Yeah.
So when you do one thing, you tend to do it very well, yeah? There's a few other tent manufacturers on the market, but they also do clip-on fans and they also do this and they do that.
Should they
and
get
they do the
distracted,
other.
are you saying?
Yeah,
Not get distracted, but it's not 100% commitment.
not 100%
With
concentration.
Simon, there's 100% commitment.
It is.
going.
When they're sat around their table for the annual board meeting, guess what they're talking about?
Tents.
When the other tent manufacturers are sat around their table,
They're talking about tents, thermos, clip fans, and
All
every other bit
kinds.
of random shite that they sell.
so that's why I feel Budbox are probably one of the best. Oh, no, not probably. They are the best tents in the industry, in the world. So there you go. It is with a iron fist. We can slam down, do the knocker, Barry. No, actually, don't do the knock. It's a bit shit, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is with a iron fist. Barry slams down on the table and says, Budbox are the best.
But box are the best, mate.
So this is an inside look, this, though. It's not just a praise Budbox. This is an inside look. What tent brand do you buy and why? We're going to ask the growers, the people who listen, some questions. Why do you buy your brand of tent? Do you buy Budbox? If you do, you're probably very happy with it. If you buy another branded tent, then why do you buy that brand? What is it about that brand that you like?
There's probably a couple of things. There isn't a way people... I think when you're buying tents, a lot of things come into consideration. Price, quality, durability, fancy features. You know, there's a couple of things, isn't there?
There is. So
I
let's
think
start with
price,
the top one. Price.
mainly being
A big factor.
a big factor.
Budbox do the Pro tent. This is the tent that they want everyone to buy. Not just because it makes more money or it costs more. It's because it's the best tent. It's
Yeah.
the best built, the best zips, the best reflective materials, the main
Yeah.
point, and it's white. The white is the most reflective material,
Yeah.
but it's the specific white that they use. It's the specific material. You could paint your wall white. It's going to be more reflective than just a bare brick wall. If you've got white, proper reflective material, it's going to be more reflective than silver reflective material. And Budbox have done independent tests to have this verified as well.
Yeah.
So we can say,
So the Budbox Pro
Pro.
is white.
but they also do Budbox in silver, which is cheaper, but still it's got exactly the same standards of the Budbox Pro, but it's
As
just
in the
silver
poles
inside.
and the
Poles
quality and all
zips
that, but it's
quality
just
material.
silver.
Same features, just silver
And I
inside.
take it that's slightly cheaper.
Yeah, slightly cheaper. More competitive with the mid-range tents.
So,
And then you've got Budbox Light as well, though.
which is the cheapest version that they do?
Budbox Light.
So, would we be right in saying that the Budbox Light might be for someone who's buying the tent for the very first time, and maybe they're on a budget, so they buy the Budbox Light, and they see it's nice quality.
Yeah.
It's not as good quality as the
No,
Budbox,
thinner poles.
and stuff like that. But
Yep.
yeah. So it's for someone on a budget, which
Yeah.
is what you need. And then once you can see that it works and it's a good tent and you can upgrade your stuff, then you go to Budbox Pro, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So with the light, you've got the frame. It's a slightly smaller size. It's 16 mil poles, tempered with white powder coated steel poles, strong plastic connectors, and the models are in 1.5 by 3. So the models from 1.5 by 3 meters come with 19 mil tempered white powder coated steel poles, metal corners, push click connectors, and roof support bars and hanging straps. Less features than the Pro, but everything, all the features that you need.
Yeah.
So it's good. What Budbox say is that they've got 3 ranges: light, silver, and Pro. So there's a tent for all of you, but their light range is the best budget tent on the market.
Yeah.
Their silver tents are the best tents in the silver range, and the Budbox Pro just hands down beat everything and everyone. And if you want the best tent, that's what you go for.
Yeah.
So how much of it? Why is price important for people? Is it just some people who are starting off might not have the money and don't want to invest and want to see if it's the hobby for them? But what about the people that have been doing it for a long time and know that they're going to continue? Why do they continue to buy cheap tents? What do you think the reason is? Is it pointless? Is there a reason behind it? Minge bags. If on what sort of point would you invest in tents? Like what piece of kit?
I can understand
would you
if someone's
invest in
buying a
first?
1.2 by 1.2. I can understand why they buy cheap ones because it's a small tent. It's not going to have a lot of weight hung in it. But I think once you go beyond 2 meter by 2 meter, I think it's worth investing in something steady, slightly thicker poles, better material, better zips, because you're going to have a lot more in it. It's going to be a lot more lights, filters and fans and stuff like that. And obviously there's more plants in that square meterage. So for anything to happen would be detrimental.
Yeah.
So I can half understand if you're buying a 1.2, 1 meter, 75, 80, 80, 60, 60, so on. I can understand why people buy a bit of a cheap one. Because it's not a huge thing.
Yeah. So,
but anything after 2 meter by 2 meter,
you've got to start investing in your house.
I'd invest.
Invest in your house.
I would invest.
So, if you are one of these smaller growers and you've got the 1 meter, the 1.2s, the 1.5s, and you have just got a smaller, cheaper tent, it might have lasted you forever. You might be very careful with your stuff, and it might have lasted you a long time. So, durability is not the reason that you buy cheap, but the quality of the reflective material. If you've got really good light, let's say ceramic metal halides, you've spent £250, £300 on your lights, might be a really good digital ballast or an LED. You want as much of that light to be hitting your plant as possible. If you buy silver, then less light is actually going to hit the plant than with the Budbox. So if you've got the best tent, if you've got the best lights, you've got a really good system, you've spent a lot on your nutrients, everything's fine-tuned, the next step is to get this white material. You'll have a high percentage of light hitting your plant and you will increase your yields. So there's the reasons. Eventually you do want to upgrade to these pro white tents.
Yeah.
Quality. If you want quality, then you have to spend the money. You can't get quality at
I think everyone
price.
knows that. I think just in this day and age, everyone knows that if you buy once, you're going to buy. If you buy once and it's cheap, you're going to buy a couple of times. And it's mad how it works because you'll tell them that it's even. Let's talk about pH pens for a minute. We sell Bosch pH pens, Blue Lab ones, £70 a go. Monster piece of kit. Look after it, will last you a lifetime.
Yeah.
And we sell the cheap ones for £30, £35. And we sell them with no guarantee because they are what they are. They're cheap. Do you know what I mean?
Disposables, really,
but
aren't
people
they?
will still buy them and you'll laugh because 3 months later they come back in and buy another one. And then they come back in 3 months after and buy another one again.
It's the same people that are buying the full setups every time.
Yeah. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. You only tend to see the Budbox. You do sell more of the cheaper tents because they break. Do you know what I mean? But the Budbox will last longer. And if you're with an honest shop who care about you, they will be talking about, why don't you buy the better quality tent? They won't sell as many of them because they don't tend to come back. But the cheaper tents, you go through them all the time. That's why shops do tend to sell more of the cheaper tents. It's because they come back more often. Do you know what I mean? There's no guarantees on tents either. If the cheap tents break or rip, you're buying a new one. They're not guaranteed. So durability, quality and durability is sort of similar. But durability is how long before the zips fall off? How long before the material starts to crack and you're getting light leaking? How long before the poles bend? How long before it's just a knackered tent and you can't even get into it anymore? So durability is a big thing. Fancy features. Now, we'll be talking about Budbox's fancy features, but one of them is the green screen that you can lift up. The window. So when the plants are asleep and your lights are on outside, you can open the flap, look inside, because it filters out all the light that will wake the plants up. You can check on your plants and not cause them not disturb them, disturb the light dark cycle. So they've got a lot of fancy features. But why do you buy your tents? Do you buy for the fancy features? There's some, in inverted commas, fancy features that I don't like. Like they're the storage inside the tent. You know, the little nets or the little pockets that you get inside tents.
Yeah.
You're supposed to put your scissors in there, your bits of tape or whatever. Your tents are full of humidity, high temperatures, potentially pests, pollen, any disease. It's all going to be in your tent if you're unlucky to get pest and disease. Cleaning a tent with pockets is hard. So spider mites are bastards, thrips are bastards. They will get into those pockets and they'll lay dormant. So next time you give your tent a good wipe down, good clean, there could be still spider mites in your pockets. I don't like my tent to have pockets in it. What's your thoughts?
I've never really thought about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Have you ever had the tent with those pockets in it?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, you're on them.
I've never used them.
Yeah. I never use the pockets.
I've never used them. They are a bit of a pointless thing, but there probably is people out there who do use them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I'm not a fan. That's a fancy feature, but it's not a
wouldn't
fan of it.
start keeping my pH for my EC pen in the tent because I don't do me mix in the tent, I do me mix outside the tent.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you know what I mean?
So
what would you keep in that pocket?
Scissors, bit of tape.
But like you just said, humidity, they'll end up
Yeah,
rusty.
rusting. So I wouldn't personally keep
Do you know
anything in
what I
them.
mean?
I've used one with a thing I looked at and thought,
Pointless.
pointless, yeah. So it's not something I'd use, and I wouldn't buy a tent because of those features. So be wary of sellable features that they promote as fancy features, and you don't actually use them
Yeah.
in the real world. Do you buy your tent because you've never used anything else before? Is that the reason why you carry on buying the silver tent or the cheaper tent? Have you ever even tried a better quality tent? Take the leap. Take the leap of faith. If you're doing this as a one-off and you just want to give it a go, yeah, do buy cheap. If this turns out that you enjoy it and you want to do it as your hobby, buy the better tent. This is your house. This is your room. It is your environment. Budbox's hashtag, Budbox's slogan is environment is everything. And they're right. It is everything. And your Budbox tent holds your environment. So you don't want to be going cheap at it. You want to, if you, this is going to be a long-term hobby, you want to do this properly, buy proper tents.
Yeah.
The last one is you like the company and what they stand for. Now, this is a hard one because most companies don't really shout about what they stand for. There's no brand ethos. You don't, unless the CANNA. CANNA have got a fantastic brand ethos. They talk about freedom and quality for everyone. And when you look at, if you go onto CANNA's Instagram, they don't talk about products. They don't talk about how good the products are. They don't throw the products down your face. It's called above the line marketing. They talk about what their values are. Are your values the same as CANNA's values? And CANNA do a very good job at it. They've got a big marketing budget. That's why they can do it. For the smaller companies, it's half our job to tell you about the brand ethos and values. And what I will say about Budbox, and it's hard because we've sat down lots of times with Budbox and they're very conservative people. They don't really like to shout about the stuff that they do. But I obviously can't get myself in trouble because some of it's secrets and some of it they don't want people to know because it's like their unique selling point or it's how they do what they do. But Budbox look after their people, whether it's in the UK or whether it's at the manufacturing facility. They look after the people. I believe when you work for Budbox, it's not a sweatshop. It's what's the word? It's not a sweatshop. It's
Family.
it's family. And I know that for a fact because of stuff that they've done for their Budbox family. One day we'll get the guys from Budbox on when there's a bit less COVID going around, and we'll let them talk about the stuff that they want to talk about. But for now, you just have to take our word for it.
Yeah.
It's a Budbox family. If you speak to them on the phone with the shops, if you buy them from Budbox, you just get that Budbox family feeling. And I know that the whole company's got that family ethos as well. So Budbox care about their employees. They care massively about the end users. Like we've had, we've talked to Budbox and we've had our customers have used the tent wrong and they've said to us, "So this has happened." You get on the phone to Budbox and they want to know the ins and outs. If there's something even slightly wrong, that the customer, give you an example, the customer said, "Oh, I just wanted to let you know this has happened." I phoned Budbox and he said, "Get it down. Let's send them a brand new one." I said, "Listen, the customer's, he's okay. He just wanted to let you know." "No, get it down. I want to know exactly what the problem was with that tent." Pulled the skin down, add another skin to us the next day. Put it up, customers made up. "You didn't have to do that, you know." I'm like, "I know," but that's what happens when you buy a Budbox. They absolutely care about anything at all.
The backup service.
The backup service is phenomenal, literally phenomenal. So do you buy your tents because of the company, what they stand for? Start thinking about what the companies that you buy off, what do they stand for? What do they believe in? And maybe that might be the reason that you buy from them. Budbox have got good values, and that's why they are our number one tent. So let's talk about the range. The range of Budbox is phenomenal. Do you remember when we did a podcast a few weeks ago, and I listed all of the tents and I did them like a horse race? I'm not going to do that again now, but they've got a big range of tents. Actually, I've got the number here. Actually, where is it? I've got the Budbox tech sheet, and where is the number? Well, actually, while I'm looking for the number, I can give you some pieces of information.
What do you mean the number?
How many tents did he produce?
29.
There's more, actually, because I did them.
Is that 29 in each range, though?
Could
Is
be.
that 29 in silver, pro, and light?
Yeah, it's on here somewhere. We'll find it.
To be honest, it's endless because Budbox.
Don't say it. I didn't give you the memo. What they do is a good feature that Barry was about to talk about, but because of certain things, yeah, it's just not possible at the moment.
Yeah, well, you can still talk about it, but it's just not possible at the minute. And I think everyone would understand, wouldn't they? But just don't want you to mention it.
They just said, just keep it on the lowdown because it's a good thing that they do.
And they do it, but just at the minute it's paused.
Yeah, since we've been mentioning it on podcasts, people have been getting in touch with them.
Have they?
Yeah, and saying, can you do this? I'm like, we can't at the moment because of the
but
whole world's going through.
It's understandable that they can't do it
Yeah.
at the moment. The whole world's on pause at the minute, isn't it? You know, come Monday, you can't even go for a meal.
I know. Restaurants and pubs is it the Northwest?
Not too sure.
It's definitely Liverpool.
Definitely Liverpool. Anyway.
Restaurants and pubs are all closed down. But there's a big range of tents. 29 sizes in Pro White or Mylar. Yeah, we've got that. Yeah. And 20 sizes in the light range, all Mylar. I'm going to go through some little pointers here before we get into the Budbox range. The original grow tent manufacturer, there from the very start of the grow tent concept over 17 years ago. The award-winning Pro range of premium grow tents. They've got the best light range of budget grow tents out there. The Pro White is the best for par reflectivity, which has been independently tested. The strongest frames, the best canvas and features, and sizes ranging from 75 by 75 by 100 to 6 meters by 3 meters by 2.2 meters tall. That leads me on to a good point, actually. If you like to follow the Americans, hi Americans, and the UK likes to follow what you do, and we're the little lapdogs, aren't we? Or the growers try to be. If you are using 1,000-watt double-ended lights, you have to have the 2.2-meter tall tents. Do not buy 1,000-watt double-ended lights and put them in 2-meter tents. There's too much light, too much heat. You look at Americans who are using hundreds of 1,000-watt double-endeds. They're in rooms, they're in massive rooms, and if they're in tents that are 2.2 or 2.4 meters tall. So make sure you've got the right tent. Budbox do all the right tents, and Barry's just had a fit because we've got a fly in the room, and it's going to be doing our heads. I know
it's
that
Budbox flying or what?
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be doing our heads in. So, the light range for startup growers, 20 tents, and they start at 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters by 120, and they go up to 6 meters by 3 meters by 2.
So, at what point do them poles change from 16 mil
So from 16 mil to 19 mil, it's when you get to the 1.5 by 3 meters in the standard range, in the light range, I should say. Pro is just 25 mil poles all round. They do every size you could need, every option to suit your budget, and always to the best quality possible. So hopefully we've drummed home to you why your next tent needs to be a Budbox. Moving on to the white versus silver myth. What's more reflective, Barry?
I know the answer. It's
I know.
White. But to a lot of people, they think silver is the answer.
Because it looks more reflective.
Because it looks, and it does.
It does look more reflective.
It does.
In that theory, why not just put tinfoil up everywhere?
It doesn't work like that, does it?
Somebody came in the shop the other day and said, I need the silver sheeting. Went to get the diamond diffuse mylar, and that's the dimpled stuff. The best silver sheeting you can get. And he said, no, not that one. I want the proper flat silver. I went, we haven't sold that for years. You know, it's horrible, literally horrible. And I think when we were doing the YouTube show and I was talking about reflective material, I actually think a matte white painted wall is better for you than flat silver. Because with flat silver, the light hits it, it doesn't diffuse. It just projects a really strong beam of light. You can actually get hot spots and burn spots on your leaf. So that flat tinfoil type silver is horrific. Don't use it. Just paint your walls white. That's actually better. If you're going to buy silver, buy the diffuse silver mylar, diamond diffuse mylar. And if you've got the big budget and you're in the room, you go for stuff like the Orca sheeting, which is the matte dimpled. I don't actually think you can buy it anymore. It's hard to get. So that's why if you need the best reflectivity, the Budbox is the best. There's nothing more reflective than Budbox material. They've got other secrets as well, but I just can't say them because we're gonna have to get them on so that they put themselves in the shit. I can't talk about the stuff, but they are always working on more reflective sheeting and they're always doing tests. They may be trying to get to that 99.9% reflectivity, and we'll see if they ever get there. But the white is more reflective than silver. Yeah. Who's got a silver tent? More importantly, who's got the silver tent because you think it's more reflective? It's time to swap. We've done multiple tests and shown that white's more reflective than silver, and it actually lasts longer as well. But it's more reflective in plant usable light as well. It disperses the light more evenly, so you don't get the heat spots with white. And we actually got sent photometric test report by Budbox, independent light study, and shows us that white is far more reflective than even the best quality silver possible. And the Budbox came out first. They launched the white tent first before silver was even a thing. Other manufacturers made silver because it looked more reflective. Budbox had to essentially follow. Yeah. Budbox had to follow because growers were being duped that silver's more reflective. It was a bit of a business decision. They'd never wanted to make the silver tent. They just had to do that because a little bit more affordable, because every other tent manufacturer was doing silver. White is 106% more reflective than mylar, which is the silver, and overall is 92% more reflective compared to mylar, which is 60 to 70%. I think a flat...
It's a big number, though.
It is, yeah. I think a flat matte white wall is about 82% reflective. Oh, no. What is it? 72 or 73% reflective. So that's even better than just using shitty silver. But there's always a but. There's a Budbox but. Is all white material good?
No.
You could put floor secure, that white viscreen. If I put that up in walls, that's going to be more reflective, but it's actually the wrong type of sheeting. Budbox have put a lot of research, a lot of time into a very specific white material that does the job. About 5 to 10 years ago, there were other white tents on the market. Looked pretty similar to Budbox. Bit more shiny, I think they were. And they actually off-gassed. They used the wrong plastic. And in a grow room, which is hot and humid, it off-gassed. It turned a funny colour. And it was actually... don't want to say too much, but I actually think it was a bit dangerous. You know, the off-gas, I think it was dangerous, and they had to stop producing them. Mm-hmm. So I don't know any other tent manufacturer that does white anymore, because Budbox have just nailed it. They've got the right material. They've probably got patents on that material, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Don't use... Well, I don't think you can't get them anymore, but has anyone ever used those white tents that weren't Budbox? Did you ever see the colour changing on the inside? Did you ever get a funny smell after a couple of months of it being in there? It was a bad tent. This next point is sort of a bit mad. It doesn't mean much to people, but Budbox has a reflectivity figure of 1.69 par, which is also independently tested. And the point here is that no other tent manufacturer we know of has had this tested independently. So there's not even a figure I can compare it against. That's why it doesn't mean anything, because you can't see what other tent manufacturers have got.
That's because other tent manufacturers are building clip fans and that. They're not really fucking interested. Where Budbox just build tents, mate. That's why they get everything tried and tested. That's what they do.
It is what they do.
So tell me, moving on.
Yeah.
We know white is better.
Yeah.
And Budbox
100%.
white is 100% better than anyone else's white tent.
106%.
Yeah. I can imagine Budbox's silver to be better than anyone else's budget range silver.
Yeah.
because that's what they do. Their white is better than anyone else's white. The silver is better than anyone else's silver.
And the light range is better than anyone else's.
The whole tent in a nutshell is better than anyone else's tent. That's what they do. Special features, that's what concerns me.
Special features.
That's what I want to know about. I like special features in tents.
What do you think about this then? The bars that lift up, so you know when you create your base, and along the bottom you've got the bars that lift up a little bit into a little rectangle. They allow the hydroponic system water pipes to exit efficiently.
IWS's AutoPots for the water to get in and
multi-flows.
out. Yeah, I like all that. Has anyone else's tent got that?
I think a couple have started to do it, and I don't know who was first. I noticed it first on Budbox. Yeah, so Budbox have got it, and they've had it, and they've got it's not just a hole. It's not just where the poles lift up. They've actually got nice rectangular intakes, and your pipes can get out, especially with somewhere like AutoPot.
And the old drawstring back up, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
That,
Double drawstring.
Double drawstring.
So you've got twice as much closure on your tent, less light leaking out.
Twice as much sealage.
Sealage. You like a bit of sealage, don't you?
What else? Fancy features.
The green inspection windows allows
I
growers
do
to
like
see
that,
through
though.
the
You
plants.
don't see. I think there is a couple of other manufacturers that do them, but I've seen one, and it was recently as well, but it was a clear screen.
Was it?
Yeah.
Bit stupid, that really, isn't it?
Who was that? Wouldn't name them, but I'll have to look into. I've seen
If you're going to put a clear screen in, you may as well just open up the tent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the green inspection windows is a nice feature. Big, strong poles, that is a feature. You don't get it on every tent. 25mm thick for extra strength. A very important point, powder coated.
Yeah.
They don't rust. If you've just got steel poles, it might be 25mm thick. I haven't seen a powder coated 25mm thick pole on anyone else. Yeah. And they do rust. It's a high humidity environment.
Water spillage in the tents and that. Yeah.
Weakens the steel. Your tent could collapse. Make sure the powder coated.
The worst, then it just might be a nightmare to take down and put back up.
Oh yeah, because you can't put the poles back together.
You can't pull them apart.
Extra ventilation holes. Budbox have plenty. They've got a tech sheet here and ventilation access ports. So from your small tents up to your 1.5 by 3, you've got 2. From up to your 2.4 by 2.4, you've got 4 passive, and you've got 4 irrigation. Yeah. And then from 2.4 by 3.6 upwards, you've got 6 holes and 4 irrigation ports as well, ventilation access ports. So they've got a full tech sheet as well. I don't know, that's probably on their website, so you can see where, like, you can see how many they've got. Is it going to suit you? Full tech sheet there, really good.
Yeah, man.
The oval flap flat hat, the oval flap flat hat seals the zips with the end to prevent light leak. So you know where your zip goes up?
And you have the little flap.
Yeah, they've always got a hole because you can't physically join 2 zips together perfectly. Yeah. So Budbox have that's where they put the Budbox logo as well. Nice little flap. Velcro's down. Job done. Tent sealed. No light leaking out. They do rubber feet as well for the crossbars to sit on, which is just brilliant. Really strong crossbars. And they've got these sort of semicircle, flat rubber, don't know what you call them, not grommets, but pieces. And you sit them on the bar and it stops the bars from rubbing. It keeps them fixed in place.
Probably stops them from moving around.
Most people probably don't use
metal
them.
Slide on it, but if you put a piece of rubber between it, it won't.
Yeah. And most people probably just go, I don't know what they are, throwing them away. But they actually go to the top, so make sure you use them. And they've also got they come with the straps as well. So people probably just go, I don't know what that's for, throw it away. Rather than buying a rope ratchet, you can get good rope ratchets. I'm not saying they don't work, but these straps are solid. Like, they will hold, what would they hold, do you reckon? 50 kilos?
Yeah.
Like, these straps are strong. So they'll hold your filter up, and that's what you should be using to hold your filter. And double cuff vents, I've just mentioned that. Double cuff vents on every outlet so that there's no light leaking at all. Thin bars with a skin that's too tight and non-coated bars that eventually rust. You buy cheap, you buy 2, 3, 4 times. So they're the features. There's probably other features. Other tents that probably have features. There's but do they all copy Budbox? It'd be interesting to see features. And
it'd be mad if they didn't. Let's have it right.
Yeah.
If you were a car manufacturer and
someone came,
you were beginning, and you could see Fords were selling umpteen Fiestas every day, and it had the feature on the steering wheel and the feature in the boot and that, and you're going to copy them, aren't you? That's what people do, you know what I mean? So you'd be mad to try and part your own way, so to say.
Question: what would you hang in your tent?
You.
I know you would. You're a horrible man.
Upside down and
You're a
coming every day
horrible
and fucking pest the life out of you.
What's the heaviest piece of kit then that you would feel comfortable hanging?
It's heaviest piece of kit. You can get the heaviest, but then you can get the most expensive, can't you? You're going to hang your lights in there.
Yeah, they should be no problem.
They should be no problem, but you've got to make sure they're secure, though.
What point would you not hang a filter and just have it standing in the corner? Or
at what point?
Yeah. Like
if I'm confident in my tent. Well, if I was confident in my tent, I'd hang it in my tent. You know, if it was just too big, like a box fan or something, then you're not going to hang it in the tent, are you?
Yeah, you put the box fans them big. Not because they're too heavy, just because they take up so much space.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that Budbox that we've got in our unit, the big, massive thing, what was it, 4.8 by 2.4? Yeah. We've had 4 people swing them from it.
It's 25mm poles, mate.
Yeah, so you could technically, 4 people, let's just be conservative, 60 kilos each. That's 240 kilos. There's not any equipment that you're going to buy that's heavier than that, is there?
No.
So that's a good point to consider. If you buy other tents, how confident can you be that your filter's not just going to pull it all down?
More importantly, you're hanging lights in there which are electricity, obviously, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And 600 watt bulbs, what you don't want to do is hang something up and turn your fan on, and it sucks the life out your tent, which is great. It is what you need.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to do it too much where it buckles a pole when you're not there with it and everything collapses. And then if that 600 watt light is now resting against the skin of your tent, smouldering and melting, and before you know it, worst case scenario, touch wood for everyone out there, and myself included, that it doesn't go on fire when you're not there, and when you get home, there is no home.
That's probably everyone's worst fear, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Well,
so let's just talk budget. Let's just put a price on it now. If the budget was 50, the intermediate was 75, and the top of the line's at 100 quid.
Say 150.
Then, if it was me, I'd scrimp on something else and I would buy the best. Just to hang everything in. Then I know it is what it is.
Well, if your cheap tent is £50, the cheap one, and the expensive one's 150, then you might say, I can get 3 tents for that price of 150. But insurance, peace of mind, safety. We've put tents up and hung all kinds. We've done every tent and every filter and every weight, and done every mistake as well in messing about. I've actually had filters pull a tent down. Exact reason you said. Extraction was working great. Tent wasn't great. Pulled in a bit too much. Poles buckled. Filter down. 2 lights on. They don't turn themselves off. Boom, on the floor, on the plants, burning away. Fortunately, we were in the shop. We were doing our plant tests, and I heard the crash, ran out, turned the lights off. But I could already start to see the smouldering, the smoke. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What price do you put on peace of mind and safety? Yeah. So there's another thing to think about. Why I've heard it all before. I can buy 3 tents for that price. Well, you buy one, you've got peace of mind, you've got safety, you've got your insurance as well. Do you know what I mean? So Budboxes, hang on it. They don't recommend it, but you can hang on them. We've actually got pictures on our at NPK_media Instagram. We set up the Budbox tent. We've got the lads hanging on it. And I said to them, see how long you can hang there for? And the tent just stood solid. Do you know what I mean?
Right, so you're paying for an insurance policy as well.
Exactly.
And you're paying for a backup service. I think that's the main thing. If I buy tools, I love tools.
Yeah.
If I buy tools, mainly I go with Hilti.
Yeah.
Only because the backup service is unbelievable.
Is that where we go to, what's that road now? We go to the top of town. Islington. Yeah. It's used to have the pub on there, the Wellington.
It's in there. Yeah.
And
you've
an
industrial estate.
Haven't you? You've got your old drill, wasn't working.
I've had the drill that was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Working perfectly. And the trigger on it started to play up and get a bit sticky. I've took it in and now all my tools, mine are all insured. When I say insured, I get them serviced every year. I've got about 4 or 5 different kinds of drills, impact drivers, SDS drills. So every year I take them to them and I think I pay about £22.50 and they service every one of them. But then they're guaranteed for 12 months. Doesn't matter if it's a 4-year-old piece of kit, it still does the job.
Yeah.
And it's so if it breaks in that 12 months of being serviced, then they fix it for nothing. If they can't fix it, they give me replacements. I had a Ilty gun, a screw gun. No, it was an impact driver, I think. It was an impact driver. And it was about 4 or 5 years old. Still a boss piece of kit, still worth good money to buy. You know what I mean? And I took it back to them, said, look, fucking trigger's taking the knock and all that. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, man, it's covered in that. Took it back and I went back to get it. And he said, we can't fix it. I said, so what happens now? Then he went to, yeah, brand new box, brand case, everything, brand new. Spanker.
You're a Hilti customer for life now, aren't you?
I am. Just because, you know why though? Because of the backup service.
Yeah.
I used to work on a building site. I've done since I was 17. That's what I've done. And if your tools broke, no matter what part of the country, I was up and down the country, no matter what part of the country you were in, you'd phone Hilti. If you weren't close to a shop, they'd send a rep to you.
Yeah.
If the rep didn't have any, and if the rep couldn't fix it, or if you were close to a shop and they couldn't fix it, they knew you were self-employed and your money comes from their tools. Do you know what I mean? That's, if you haven't got the tools, you're not earning no money.
Yeah.
So they'd give you the replacement to use until yours was ready.
Yeah. Hilti customer for life, baby.
Hilti customer for life, lad. You've sold it to me. That's
so even if that tool, if that drill was £300, but the other drill, that Power Deck 2000, was £100, what drill are you buying?
Hilti.
Exactly, because
I know.
You know that.
I know that's the backup service with me. That's what sells everything for me is the backup service, lad. I don't buy stuff that hasn't got a backup service with it. I don't want to buy something and fucking 4 months later, man, I've got to phone fucking Taiwan, and Taiwan I've got to get hold of fucking Fuji in fucking Malaysia, and then Malaysia's got to get hold of them in America to try and get me replacement part. Nah, mate, that's not me.
5 different forms.
Do you know what I mean? I just walk into fucking my nearest shop and say, mate, I bought that, took the knock, nice one, new one to that.
All I'll say is,
paid for. It's what you pay for.
In the last 3 to 4 months, and probably for the next 3 to 4, 6 months, even the best companies back up.
They're going to struggle.
They're going to struggle. So don't judge.
That's understandable. You can't judge anyone in this climate that we're in. It's understandable. If something breaks, mate, you ain't getting a part, mate.
But you can just tell. You can tell when companies are good. Here's another one that's sort of big on employees and employers, why they go for jobs and why companies do well. Social conscience. And I mentioned this sort of at the beginning. Budbox, obviously they tend to come from China. There's this whole thing of, it's Chinese product, it's shit. 90% of all of our shit comes from China.
Everything.
But it's just how good's the warehouse, how good's the people that work for them. This isn't a Chinese warehouse, this is a Budbox warehouse in China. The people are on staff, the people love what they do. They're looked after in ways you can't even imagine. And I'll let Budbox, when they eventually come on the podcast, tell you about it. They look after the people. So you're not just buying a great quality tent.
So it's not outsourced, is it?
Not
it's
outsourced.
in-house.
I'll tell you something that
the house is in China.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that I can talk about. Back in the day when Budbox sales weren't as good as they are now, it was still good. They used to, with every single tent, put it up.
Yeah.
Make sure everything was working.
They still do that now.
Put it back down. Every single tent it was back in the day, though. Obviously now production's gone massively through the roof.
But isn't it like
That's
1 in
impossible.
5 tents?
1 in 10.
1 in 10 tents.
They put the tents together. Every single, every 10th
They'll
tent
draw.
pulls out, gets assembled, make sure everything's working, pack it back down, sealed, done, on you go. That's for every single size of tent. Do you know what I mean? It's phenomenal
years
work.
ago when they wasn't as big as what they are now.
Every single tent.
Every single tent got erected and put back. Man, that's good.
Another little feature that not many people notice, and this is like quite funny, this. On the Budbox tent, it says, do not open with a scalpel. But Budbox, no. People are going to use a fucking scalpel anyway. We do it like, be careful with the scissors. So what they do is to put a piece of cardboard underneath the sign that says, do not use a scalpel. They know you're going to probably use a scalpel anyway. They put a piece of cardboard underneath.
So that when you do it, you don't rip the
you
tent.
don't rip the tent, you're just cutting into the cardboard. Just little things like that make a massive difference, and they don't shout about it. And not many people would even realise. You just throw the piece of cardboard away thinking, fucking hell, extra packaging. It's there for a reason. So many things Budbox do you don't even know about.
I think we need to get them on the show, don't we, more than anything?
We will do. Well, we're going to start. The podcast is going to take on a whole new life soon. We're going to have 3 cameras, so there'll be one on you, one on me, one on the both of us, one directly on my computer. So we'll be able to show people as well all the things that's going on. It'll be live once again. It'll go onto YouTube. And we're also going to put a phone number. So we're going to be back on doing it on Thursdays at 4 o'clock.
And we
like
can have
the
a
old
phone
standard.
in live.
Exactly.
What are we going to do if no one fucking phones in?
Well, it
We
is
say
what
your
it is,
phone
isn't
is
it?
now live and no one rings.
No, we'll have ticker boards on the screen. If you're watching live, you can phone in and join in the discussion rather than typing away. Some people just hate typing. Yeah. So we're going to have all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's going to take it to the next
level. We're going to end up with someone phoning in saying, dickheads.
And we'll laugh.
Yeah,
we'll laugh. That will be probably a new little thing in the podcast. People trying to ring in and rip us. The horrible thing about Scousers is, though, you can't rip us because we've already ripped ourselves. Yeah. He sounds like a broken motorbike. I sound like a dunce with a pair of glasses.
You're like one as well.
I do. It's the whole vibe I go for. Right. Before we finish off, some top tips. We can't do a podcast without some top tips. Here they are, for the tent specifically. When you're zipping your tent up, start with the bottom rather than the middle, so you're not pulling it apart when you're zipping up. What that means is people do have issues with Budbox, but it's not because of Budbox. It's because of you, the grower. You're not using it properly. What people will do is, and this is like, I've heard this a couple of times over the years, the zips in the middle are pulling apart. And what they do is you don't connect the poles properly. So the skin has got to be nice and tight so that the material's nice and tight and it's all snug. But if you don't connect the pole properly or something's just out, your skin's going to be too tight. You're going to be ripping it and tugging it, and you create the rips. The other thing is, people think they put the whole skin over the frame. Let's zip the middle up first. That's the wrong thing to do. Zip the bottom together. Get that tent tight. The bottom zips are meant to be done first. And then that middle zip that you use every single day, probably multiple times a day, it can't be tight. It needs to be a little bit loose. So that's the first point, is do the bottoms first and then do the middles.
Lubrication?
Pencils.
Lead.
Graphite. Yes,
Sounds
exactly.
like dirty, this, doesn't it? La?
Yeah, graphite lubrication, nothing better.
Yeah. Grab your skin, pull it dead tight, and get some lead on it. Fucking hell, lad.
Ooh, bit of lead in your pencil, have you?
Am I really here, Josh? Fucking hell, mate.
Pencil, up and down the zipper.
That's just a bit of lead. You can actually
lubrication.
Buy proper zip lubrication.
Can you now? Oh, no. What shop do you get that from?
Do you know you get it with? I know we're not talking about them, but do you know the proper trim bag? Not that shitty copy version that just breaks instantly.
Yeah.
The proper trim bag.
The actual
that
trim
comes
bag.
with like a
hemp oil
in it. Yeah. And it's good as well.
Yeah. And make sure your zips don't clog up.
Do you get that with that shitty wholesaler?
No, I don't know. I've never even bought one. I've never even bought a blag. We don't buy blag shit. We don't buy the horrible copied blag shit. We support the people, the innovators. Whether that's right or wrong, whatever, I like to support the innovators.
You've got to be honest, you've got to support the innovator.
You have?
Because
I've said it all along.
Otherwise, if you didn't, they'd fall off and they wouldn't innovate anymore. Do you know what I mean? And then the wholesalers
would have nobody to copy.
Have no one to copy.
They'd have to start innovating.
Yeah, so
and they haven't innovated anything in their fucking lives.
Nothing. So it's like,
innovate versus imitate, eh?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. We did. We've done 3 episodes on innovate versus imitate. We probably won't do any more because it's just you just repeat yourself over and over. But fuck
about
off
the
with your copies.
Same people.
Same people over and over. There you go. Third top tip: treat them well. If you're ragging your cover over the poles and then you pull the zips together and you don't treat it carefully, what do you think is going to happen?
Treat her like a lady.
Like a lady.
Why'd you have to do that?
Why
the fuck? Josh, edit that out.
Treat her like
you
a
say
lady.
One word and it goes into full flow.
I have to. I can't help
just
myself.
Treat her like a lady. It's not the local bike. You don't just throw around. Treat her like a lady.
That's what you do.
That's not what I do, mate. Got a lady.
You treat her like a
I
lady.
treat her
do
like
you?
a lady.
Do you?
Yeah.
She cooks your dinners.
She does.
When was the last time you cooked tea?
So, I can tell you the last time I bought tea, don't want.
Fuck off.
Right.
I couldn't. Don't ask me. I couldn't tell you the same thing either. So there you go. Treat them well. Do not treat them mean. Tents do not stay keen. They will just fucking rip and buckle, and you'll have to buy a new one. So treat them properly.
I think that is with any tent though.
Yeah.
Whether it's a cheap one or a top of the fucking range one. If you're a bit rough with it, expect the worst.
Exactly.
If you don't treat it right, then you got to look after your grip.
You'd have. And the last point is how to look after your grip in the long term. Keep it fucking clean, please. What to use when cleaning? Smoke bombs. They'll kill any remaining bugs and pests. Don't use them. Listen to that rain again.
Wow.
I wonder if that comes through on the podcast.
We need more insulation, mate.
We
That's
do.
got like 4 layers of 150 mil.
That's some
Not
heavy
just
rain.
normal insulation.
Barry insulation.
Barry fucking, it's actual Rockwool slabs. Not Rockwool like what we use.
Yeah.
It's actually like
Kingspan.
No, not Kingspan. It's fiberglass, but it's slabs. So when I put the first layer up there, I've X-weaved it all, so it seals it. Then the second layer, what went on top of that, that's like 100, 200, 300,
Take the microphone up
400.
to-
That's like 600 mil thick, you know.
Listen.
Yeah, that's 600 mil thick. So the first layer that I put on, I X-weaved all the joints. Then the second layer I put on, I put the opposite way, so all the joints were covered, like staggered. So it's staggered 4 times. And listen to it, lad.
It is. It's fucking monsoon
fuck.
season. Monsoon season in the UK.
Fucking joke.
Anyway, cleaning the tents. Ignore the rain, please. Smoke bombs to kill any remaining bugs and pests. We don't advise to use them when your plants
Don't
are
ignore
in
the
there.
rain. You know, the humidity's fucking high today, so make sure that you've got oscillating fans on in your flower room.
Good point. If the rain's still
These all
coming
make
on
the most
Sunday.
of it, mightn't we? Eh? Put a fucking top tip in there for today.
Yeah. Soapy water to remove the dirt and grease. So this is like a 3-phase thing. Smoke bombs kill your pests, but they leave a residue. Soapy water, soapy warm water to remove dirt and grease. There's lots of pollen, lots of terpenes, lots of oil. Get rid of them. Then a weak bleach solution sprayed and wiped down. How do you make the bleach solution weak? 50 ml into a litre of water, spray, leave it for 5-10 seconds, wipe and leave to air dry.
If you've got a dirty tent in your house, you are a dirty person.
I don't know, I disagree.
Yeah, no, what?
You get
So
out, be a
every
bit
time
dirty.
you use your tent,
Yeah,
if you go in your tent and you're having a little mess about, and
yeah.
if a couple of leaves fall off, a couple of dead ones or
Picking them
whatever,
up, put them
you're
in the
picking
bin.
them up and you're giving it a quick wipe, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the plant's life, and you've done what you should
Yeah.
done, that tent should be clean top to bottom.
Should be clean or cleaned.
Cleaned.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
grow.
Every grow that tent should be cleaned, hoovered, mopped, polished, all your grips sorted out, everything ready for the next go.
Yeah, new scalpels, new syringes.
Everything.
Fresh
Everything,
newts.
yeah. You don't even need new syringes, just clean them out, bit of hot soapy water and leave them all to soak.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even your snips, just leave them in bit of hot soapy water.
Yeah, you need to get that.
Do you know what I mean?
Get the oils off, don't you? But keep your tent clean. It will look after you. Not only will it last longer, the reflective
It's not that
material,
the
it
next-
stays
The
reflective.
next plants what go in there are going to be, you want them to do your babies.
Yeah.
So you don't want to put your babies in it. Would you put your baby in a dirty cot?
No.
With a shitty nappy?
No.
No, you wouldn't, mate. You clean it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't leave a shitty nappy on a baby, would you?
No.
As soon as you know it's shitty, you remove it.
Mm.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
Be clean.
And then
You don't
once
get in your
tent's
car
clean and you
and flick ash on your floor. How often do you get your car cleaned? How often do you get your car cleaned, Steve? This is fuck. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Shot Josh. I've just said to Steve, how often do you get your car cleaned?
my good car gets cleaned once every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Me
Probably because
little-
you keep it clean, though
Yeah.
it doesn't need it.
Me
I take my
Zafira's
car
just a
probably
shithead.
once a week for a quick valet, quick £15 valet.
I know you do.
Because when I get in it in my good clothes, I don't get out of it feeling minty. Get out of it feeling still clean.
Mm.
If your car's dirty and you get in it, you then feel minty, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine how your fucking plants feel.
Yeah.
It's all boss strain, lad. Sick, lad. No one's heard of it, lad. It's heavy, lad. Proper heavy metal in the heavy metal industry, this, lad. And I'm just going to throw it in there, lad. In that shitty tent, lad. Not leaving the water in the butt, lad. Just going to top it up, lad, innit? Hey?
You know,
What do you
Coach, he's
mean?
going to take that as a little clip and I'm going to throw it on the podcast Instagram.
What I mean, lad.
Yeah, lad. Yeah, lad. Best fucking strain ever, lad.
Best strain, lad. Heavy metal, lad.
I'd love to read all because obviously
Sick.
we hear all the Liverpool ones like that. Wonder what the people in Yorkshire or Scotland or London, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, what do they all sound like?
I can only do Welsh accents.
Best strain ever, man. Best strain ever.
You know what I mean, though, don't you? It's the
Yeah.
same dance, isn't it?
It is. Keep your tent clean. Keep your shit clean. Get the best results. Use Budbox. We've been talking about an inside look into Budbox. So there
We
you
need
go.
them on the show, though, don't we?
We do. We do.
Stop picking your nose.
I was scratching actually the inside
If
section.
we were live here, mate, they would have seen that was a full-on piss.
What would they have seen you do 5 minutes ago? You scruff. You got 2 knuckles deep there. No wonder that's so big.
My nostrils are well bigger than yours.
I know they are. He's a disgusting person. That's our battle.
That just about wraps it up, lads, on it, lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kid.
lads. How are we? There's one for
I
Brian.
fucking hate that.
How are we?
Brian loves it. I fucking hate that
It's
show.
funny. It's
Some
funny.
people probably love it. I fucking hate it.
If you're not from Liverpool, you haven't seen the show. You're not finding that little YouTube clip. I'm going to get Brian to, if you're live, you could have messaged it, but I'll talk about it next week.
Ah, little conspiracy theory.
How
Brian.
are we? You know what? I'm
Brian
fine.
with his end game. Let's talk about Brian for a minute. He's got an end game. Let's talk about it.
We should have done this at the beginning.
How did this start, Steve?
This started because Brian is Brian.
Yeah.
And if you at the beginning of the podcast, we talked about Brian, Grandad NPK. And if you've gone onto the Instagram, you've seen him fall over. That's Brian. That's Grandad.
That's like,
He's
that's one time we filmed him. We
Oh,
could
that's just one
film
time
him
we've caught him.
every day.
I'm going to start a
Yeah,
collection.
let's start a series on
Yeah.
Brian. The Life of Brian.
The Life
Isn't there
of
a proper,
Brian.
proper
There is.
film?
It's called The Life
Yeah,
of
we're
Brian.
going to do one. We are going to do A Life of Brian.
So, I don't know really where it started. It probably started back in 1972 when Brian was
When he
born.
was when he was about 14, 15, I think.
But we call him
He's
Grandad
old
for a
now.
reason. He
We don't
is.
even know how old he is.
He's getting to the nifties.
Yeah, he's got to be.
He's
hasn't he?
easy in the nifties. And we can't go too deep on Brian, but we need to get him on the show. If you ever listen,
He won't come on the
he
show,
won't
though.
come on.
He
won't
says,
come
I'm not
on.
coming on the show to be made a cunt of.
Let me give you an example. I promise you now, if Grandad came on our podcast, we will be millionaires because
Yeah.
it would be Stephen Merchant. I'd be Stephen Merchant, the tall, lanky, dorky looking one. Barry would be Ricky Gervais, the slightly stubbly, slightly fat, funny one.
And
And
fat.
you're on a diet, so he went on a diet as well. He's not fat anymore, is he? But
I'm not fat.
no, not compared to sumo wrestlers. And you'd have Brian as well. And he is Carl Pilkington.
He is,
I
isn't he?
promise you, he is Carl Pilkington. If we had enough money, me and Barry, we would send Brian round the country. Another idiot abroad. And we'd be millionaires, I swear to God. We just need to convince him to do it. He's not an idiot, though. That's fucking harsh. He's got a different view on life.
Everything's a conspiracy.
Everything. Apart, the world's not flat. That's the only thing. He wouldn't work for us if he thought the world was flat.
No.
That's just too far. But the chemtrails, he's up there with the chemtrails.
Yeah, he likes
He
chemtrails,
loves
doesn't
a bit of chemtrail. He won't have the COVID vaccination because we're getting tracked, but he's just had the flu vaccination
Yeah,
because he's
yeah.
old and he's got no spleen. And yeah, we just you all need to send. I'll tell you what to do. I promise you, it will be the best
Add
2
him on
minutes.
Instagram.
It will be the best
What
2
you need
minutes
to
you've
do
ever
is
do.
add him on Instagram.
At Grandad NPK.
Okay, and tell him that you want him on podcast. If he comes on podcast, I promise you now.
You'll have the best night of your lives.
I'll end up off the show. I will. I'll just
You
end up
won't.
the Brian show.
It will leave him here, and he can just talk to you about life.
I reckon he'd end up with his own podcast and his own YouTube show.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do reckon he would.
He's boss. He's boss.
Yeah.
And there's other things about Brian that we can't talk about, but he's a brilliant individual.
Yeah.
When I am his age, I need to be like Brian.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think we should end the podcast there. Go follow Grandad NPK and message him and get him on the podcast. Please, we need your help. Thank you very much for listening to episode 218.
Yep.
I'm Stephen.
That's it.
And we have done an inside look into Budbox. Go follow them.
Go buy one.
Grow tents. Go buy one. And go spread the love. Follow
Yeah, man.
Grandad NPK. Bye-bye.